The village of Umuokpara was a place where gossip traveled faster than the harmattan wind. And beauty was treated like a treasure sent straight from the gods. And in all of Umuokpara's history, no beauty had ever matched that of the twin sisters, Rose and Mary. They were born on a night when the moon sat unusually close to the earth, glowing like a calabash of palm wine tilted before a fire. Elders called them gifts. Women called them wonders. Men called them dreams. But dreams, as Umuokpara would soon learn, were sometimes nightmares in disguise. Though they looked alike, skin glowing like oiled bronze, eyes bright like stars drowning in midnight, and smiles that could calm a quarreling crowd, their hearts were nothing alike. Rose, the elder twin, was warm, gentle, and full of kindness. She was the type who would remove her own wrapper to cover a shivering stranger. Mary, however, carried fire in her chest. A jealous flame. A silent storm. She wanted everything, and if she couldn't have it, she would rather destroy it. Their rivalry began quietly in childhood, small things, like who the villagers praised more. But it grew sharper, heavier, and more poisonous as they became women. Then came Obis, the handsome young man who returned from the city to marry. He was intelligent, strong, and spoke with a gentleness that made every girl's heart soften. And as fate would twist it, he fell in love with Rose. It was as though the gods themselves had dipped their fingers into Mary's heart and twisted it until it cracked. She smiled at her sister, clapped at the wedding, even danced until dust rose like feathers, but inside her was a black river, swelling, overflowing. Rose became the wife, the beloved, the admired. Mary became the shadow, the forgotten twin, the one men desired physically but did not choose. It would taste like death. The whispers began slowly. Mary has been visiting Obi's house when Rose is away. I saw her wearing her sister's clothes. But Rose never believed any of it. She defended her sister. One stormy night, as thunder drummed across the sky, Mary came knocking at her sister's door. "Rose, please, let me stay here tonight," she whispered. That night, Mary watched her sister sleep peacefully and felt hatred crawl up her spine like a cold lizard. She stole Rose's coral necklace, the one Obis had gifted her on their wedding day. She stole her wrapper. And then, she stole her identity. The next morning, Rose announced she was pregnant. Obis was filled with joy and thanked Rose for making him so happy. It was as if the world had fallen on Mary. She could feel her heart pounding with hatred and anger, but she pretended to be happy for her sister. Nights passed. Mary had sleepless nights. She would peep at Obis when he was alone. She would serve him food wearing revealing clothes, saying that her sister asked her to do it. She was like a shadow around Obis. One day Rose was 7 months pregnant. She asked Mary how long she was going to stay, that she had stayed few months already. Mary's heart boiled with anger and she replied, "So you are sending me away? No problem, I will leave." Rose tried to calm her down that she didn't mean it that way. They laughed over it. In the dim light before dawn, Mary left the house wearing Rose's clothes. She walked straight to a quiet place where Obis and Rose usually meet. Obis was waiting for his wife. Before he could speak, Mary kissed him. A long, dangerous kiss that tasted like betrayal. Obis pulled back instantly, confused, shocked. But before he could ask questions, "Rose no longer wants you, she plans to leave you for another man, she told me everything." Obis' heart cracked. When they returned to the home, Rose was missing. Her body was found 3 days later, floating by the riverbank, her face pale, her wedding coral missing. The village mourned. Women wailed. Obis collapsed in tears. And Mary? She cried the loudest. Held Obis the tightest. Pretended to be the most heartbroken. She married Obis, moved into the compound that once belonged to her sister, and walked the village paths as the new Iwo Obis. To outsiders, it looked like destiny had finally favored her. To Mary, it felt like victory. But victory built on blood is never real. Still, she wanted more love, more control, more assurance that Obi's would never look at another woman the same way he had once looked at Rose. The fear of losing him gnawed at her heart. So one humid evening, when the sky turned copper and bats began to dance across the horizon, Mary traveled in secret to the outskirts of Umuokpara, to the hut of Dibia Okonkwo, the native doctor whose eyes were said to see beyond the living world. He listened to her request with a slow, dangerous smile. "You want Obi's soul tied to yours forever?" he asked. Mary nodded. The Dibia prepared a charm, binding cowries, black soap, and a small clay pot with red thread. Then he handed her a small calabash. "When your next moontime comes," he instructed, "spill your blood on his picture. Say exactly how you want him to love you. With madness, with blindness, with chained devotion." Then he added the final step. "When you finish, tie the picture and hide it under your bed. Never tell him. Never untie it." And just like the medicine promised, Obi's heart twisted. He loved her with a consuming intensity, at first sweet, then frightening. He worshipped her. He hung on her every word. Within months, Mary conceived. Umuokpara rejoiced. Obi's carried her like a precious calabash. Mary glowed like new palm wine. But at 7 months, the baby died. The compound shook with grief. Mary wept for weeks. Obi's face darkened like a cloud before a storm. Still, she conceived again. This time, hope returned until the 6th month, when death came quietly again, stealing the child before it saw daylight. That was when Obi's changed. He began to call her names, not softly, but with the sharpness of a machete. He compared her to Rose. "A woman who has no peace cannot give life," he shouted. Mary shrank, her beauty fading like cloth left too long in the sun. Her face became pale, her eyes hollow. She walked about like a curse carried by the wind. Obi turned to alcohol. His once thriving business collapsed. He lost contracts, lost money, lost respect. He blamed her for everything. Cold food earned her slaps. Too much salt earned her kicks. One tragic night, he staggered home drunk and forced himself on her. Her tears soaked her pillow. When she resisted, he beat her until she could not lift her arms. Later that month, she discovered she was pregnant again. Strangely, this pregnancy stayed. The child held on, strong and stubborn, like a spirit sent for judgment. But when her time came, darkness returned. Mary screamed for help. The baby refused to descend. Her breath grew short, her skin drenched in sweat. The midwives were scared. Between screams, she began to confess. "Rose, my sister. Forgive me. I stole your life. I stole your husband. I killed you. Forgive me." The room fell silent. Obi's froze. His mouth opened, but no words came out. With trembling hands, Mary reached beneath the bed and dragged out the clay pot where the picture lay tied with red thread. "Untie it," she begged. "Free yourself. Free me." Obi's hands shook as he untied the charm. But it was too late. Her body convulsed. Her voice cracked. Pain tore through her like lightning splitting a tree. "The baby would not come," one of the midwives said in low tone. Her eyes rolled back. She screamed one last time. "Rose, mercy." Then silence. Mary died. The unborn child died with her. The wails from Obi's compound spread like wildfire through Umuokpara and beyond. Women told the story to their children. Elders shook their heads whenever the tale resurfaced. And the name Mary became a warning whispered at moonlit gatherings. Do not envy your sister. Do not steal what is not yours. Always remember. What is built on deceit will always collapse. What is gained through envy will bring sorrow. And when you steal another's destiny, you borrow a grief that will eventually return to its owner.